مرحبا and Ramadan Kareem from Abu Dhabi to Al-Bustan family and friends fil Bayt. My name is Hanan Sayed-Worrell. I'm the author of the book Table Tales, the Global Nomad Cuisine of Abu Dhabi. Today I would like to share with you how to make knafe, one of the recipes in my book. Knafe is, if there were a queen of Arabic sweets, knafe would definitely be it. It's made all across the Arab world, North Africa, even into Europe, and it's known by different names. In Palestine, it's knafe nabilsiye, made with Akawi cheese. In Egypt, it's kunafa bil ishta, which is kunafa with cream, which is the one we're making today. In Lebanon, they have the soft knafe and the more hairy knafe with, again, cheese fillings. So it's really quite versatile. There's variation of it in Greece and in Turkey as well. And it's a dessert that we have mostly in Ramadan. It's a festive dessert, although you can have it any time of the year. But it really is very much part of the Ramadan tradition. And actually, as the story goes, the Khalifa Muawiyah, who was Umayyad Empire, or Umayyad Khalifat, it was said that he really loved knafe, and on the orders of his physician, he would eat it every day for iftar to satiate his appetite and give that immediate sugar rush. So with that, let's start making knafe. The dough for knafe, basically, which you see here, is really it's common. It's the basic ingredient. It's flour and water that is made into very fine threads. I would not advise anybody try and make the knafe at home. The dough actually, but you could buy it in many of the Middle Eastern stores. It comes frozen. During Ramadan here in the Arab world, we have it. It's fresh and it's delicious. Actually, in living in the Arab world, most of the times we don't make knafe at home because the sweet makers are really masters at it and you just order it. But again, now as we shelter in place and as we are in lockdown, we're learning to make many of our traditional Arab sweets at home, and it's been really a fun journey for me. So that's the knafe dough. It's very basic, the ingredients. Today we're going to fill it with cream, which, like I said, is the Egyptian version. And it is some thick cream or heavy cream thickened with a bit of cornstarch. And then we heat it on the stove and we stir it until it thickens. It's really, that's it. There's no sugar, nothing in it. You can flavor it with vanilla. I like to flavor it with orange blossom water. And then we prepare the pan for the knafe. Today, again, I'm doing it a little different. I'm using a small pan because it's just my husband and I for iftar. I usually make knafe when we have friends over, but as we are social distancing, I'm making portions a lot smaller. And if there's any leftover, I'm going to do it in these little individual muffin tins, which makes it also really nice for presentation. So with that, we'll start with the butter. In the recipe that I have, which is from my dear friend Mona, is we actually put the butter in the pan. It's important that it's an aluminum pan. Many recipes have you melting the butter and actually soaking the knafe in it. But what I like to do is just take a little bit of butter and put it in the pan. It's a generous amount of butter. When I say a little bit, it's generous. Okay, and we'll just put the butter around here so that it really coats the bottom of the pan. And getting it even is what will make it nice and toasty when you bake it. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same here. Bit of butter. Yeah, it always feels good to play with some butter. And actually, another version of knafe that is done in Egypt as well is with nuts. So you crush some almonds, pistachios, walnuts, whatever nuts you have. Mix some cinnamon, some brown sugar, and fill the knafe with that. But I hope this is one that you'll be able to make at home pretty easily once you find the dough. Okay, so now I've got enough. What we do then is put a really thin layer of the knafe at the base. Really, like it's quite, I don't know if you can see it here. Make sure you can see it. And it's, yep, there you go. Another version you could do is you could fill it with some ricotta cheese, again flavored with vanilla or rose water. So you can add a bit of mozzarella cheese, the grated mozzarella that gives it the kind of stringy feel. And probably anyone from Nablus who's listening to this is probably cringing at all the variations that I am introducing here to the traditional knafe. But really, have fun with it. Okay, so that one's done. And then we line these little muffins. You just put some in each, and then I'll move them all around and make it like a little gap, because that's where we're going to put the cream. It'll be nice and crunchy. And then it's sweetened with a simple syrup, which is sugar and water, and I'll give you the proportions. And then again, you can flavor the simple syrup with rose water and orange blossom water. And the great thing about this knafe as a dessert is it can be made the day ahead. You do it all, you cover it, and you just bake it at the last minute. So it's a wonderful treat to have. Okay, so our knafe base is ready, and now let's go make the cream filling. So here I'm adding a little bit of 2 tablespoons of cornstarch mixed in with a bit of milk. Add them to the cream, and then just stir the cream until it starts to thicken. It takes about 10-15 minutes. And then we're going to add rose water. Okay, and this is the cream. It's nice and thick, and I add it to the knafe. We got it all in. Okay, and then just spread it out evenly. And then you start with the remaining knafe. You put on the top layer. And cover it and just pat the cream so it's everywhere. And again, it's a small layer. It's not a very big layer, a very thick layer. Okay, just make sure our cream's covered everywhere. And then we are going to add some melted butter right before baking it. So at this point, you can cover your knafe with cling film, put it in the fridge, and right before you take it out to bake, you pour like about a quarter cup of butter, melted butter on this size, all over it. Then you put it in the oven to bake for 20 minutes and the bottom part of the oven, and then you raise it for the last 10 minutes so it can get nice and toasty on the top. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so we've got here about a quarter cup of butter melted that then is just generously drizzled over the knafe. And you can do more if you would like it to be more buttery. And we will pop it in the oven. Okay, and now we put it in here at the lower level for about 20 minutes. Okay, and then we'll flip it onto a plate and pull this off. And you'll see how perfectly browned it is. Well, before we decorate it, actually, we'll put the syrup. And the main thing is the syrup. If your knafe is hot, then the syrup should be cold. If you put the syrup and it's warm, it will kind of all get crumbled up. And then you could always serve some extra syrup on the side. And then to decorate it, some crushed pistachios. Garnish it with a few more pistachios, as well as rose petals, slivered pistachios, and finely ground.